China is harvesting organs from detainees, UK tribunal concludes. World News.
Here's a summary of the article.
An independent tribunal sitting in London has concluded that the killing of detainees in China for organ transplants is continuing, and victims include imprisoned followers of the Falun Gong movement. The China Tribunal, chaired by Sir Geoffrey Nice QC, who was a prosecutor at the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, said in a unanimous determination at the end of its hearings it was certain that Falun Gong were used for forced organ harvesting. China announced in 2014 that it would stop removing organs for transplantation from executed prisoners and has dismissed the claims as politically motivated and untrue. Waiting times for transplantation offered by hospitals in China were extraordinarily low, the tribunal noted, often only a couple of weeks. Investigators calling hospitals in China inquiring about transplants for patients, the tribunal said, have in the past been told that the source of some organs were from Falun Gong followers. Jennifer Zheng, a Falun Gong activist who was imprisoned for a year in a female labor camp, gave evidence to the China Tribunal about what she said were repeated medical checkups and blood tests to which inmates were subjected. As many as 90,000 transplant operations are being carried out in China a year, the tribunal estimated, a far higher figure than that given by official government sources.
This post received a score of 30,887, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is relevant because China declared they would stop, especially in 2014. The tribunal just concluded it is still happening. It was certain that Falun Gong were used for forced organ harvesting.
Seriously, what did you expect from a prison system that also habitually uses prison labor to grind gold in MPORGs because they're cheaper and more reliable than bots? Gold selling and organ harvesting aren't comparable, but they both underline some very serious problems within the Chinese prison system.
I feel like I walked in the middle of a sci-fi novel too stupid to exist, and yet
reality is stranger than fiction, because fiction has to make sense.
I don't know if it's yours, but that's a good quote.
Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities, truth isn't. Mark Twain.
If in doubt for a quote originator, it's always Mark Twain.
If in doubt for a quote originator, it's always Mark Twain. Abraham Lincoln.
I'll have the turkey sandwich please, Albert Einstein.
As Albert Einstein once said, I'll have the turkey sandwich please. Mark Twain.
Note to self, don't get detained in China. Note to self, if I am detained in China, take up smoking and heavy drinking.
Enjoy your lowered credit score, citizen.
It's all starting to make sense.
Oh shit, I see what you mean. Not for long with eyes like that.
A big mallet? What's that for? If your transplant fails, they will transplant again, until it takes. There are cases of people with 2, 3 or even 4 transplants for a single organ. It's not just for Chinese citizens, foreigners can go to China and get scheduled transplants too. They will kill someone and transplant their heart into you.
I don't think my insurance covers that.
What's scary is if you watch the YouTube video on this, by the 3 guys who wrote books on this, some insurances do cover this. It's cheaper to get an illegal organ than have you in the hospital for years.
Can you link the video? I couldn't find it in the article.
Remember when Falun Gong said this 10 years ago and everyone dismissed them because they were a crazy cult? Turns out they are, but you can't dismiss human rights allegations without investigation.
The government dismissed them by killing the group members and using their organs, and arresting anyone who says that name. Everyone knows about, you just aren't allowed to talk about it.
It's discussed all over the globe relatively frequently. But it's not like other nations can do much to intervene with domestic policies of other countries such as China, that'll potentially destroy diplomacy and shake up the stability.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.